Hey guys, it's me Seren, back with another video. Today is day 9 of Hidden Figures, and today's hidden figure is Catherine Liggins Hughes, who's born April 22nd, 1947, and is an American entrepreneur, radio and television personality, and business executive. Hughes founded the media company Radio One, now known as Urban One, and when the company went public in 1999, she became the first Black American woman to head a publicly traded corporation. Urban One is the largest Black American-owned broadcasting company in the United States. In the 1970s, Hughes also created the urban radio format called The Quiet Storm on Howard University's radio station WHUR, which became a popular mainstream radio segment for Black listeners. So yes, Cathy Hughes is a hometown hero, and I have to say it, quiet storm. I had to. I grew up listening to Quiet Storm. I had to do it. Cathy Hughes was born in Omaha, Nebraska in 1947 to Helen Jones Woods, a trombonist, and William Alfred Woods, who was one of the first Black Americans to earn an accounting degree. The family lived in a North Omaha housing project while Hughes's father attended college, and Hughes developed a love of music at a very young age when her mother gave her a transistor radio for her 8th birthday and she fell in love with radio. The gift meant all the more to her as her parents did not have much money, and she lied about her age in order to get her first job when she was 14. At 16, she got pregnant and her parents threw her out of the house. Hughes has said that the birth of her son became her impetus. I don't know how you pronounce this word. impetus, impetus, her reason to achieve, her inspiration to achieve, and she would marry her son's father and then quickly divorce him, attending the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and then Creighton University. Unable to finish, she dropped out and got a job working at iconic Black American newspaper, the Omaha Star, in the mid-1960s. And I have been to Omaha, Nebraska. I drove through there for the Black Americans. I spent some time there. They have a Black American History Museum there that's really great that I went to. The birthplace of Malcolm X is in Omaha, Nebraska. I saw the Omaha Star, which is still in publication to this day and is still Black owned. There's a really interesting historic Black American community in Omaha, Nebraska, which we never really hear about. Hughes sold classifieds for the newspaper and worked under its legendary owner, Mildred Brown, which was an experience Hughes says shaped her philosophy on the responsibility of Black-owned media and the importance of media companies to give a voice to the Black community. Information is power, she said, but by the time Black folks get the information, it's Black history, not current events. In 1969, she began her radio career at KOWH, a radio station in Omaha owned by Black American professionals. She also became executive director in Omaha for Project Equality, which encouraged companies to practice non-discrimination in hiring. Hughes left Nebraska for Washington, D.C. after she was offered a job as an administrative assistant at the School of Communications at Howard University. In 1973, she became general sales manager of the university's radio station, WHUR-FM, increasing station revenue from $250,000 to over $3.5 million in her first year. In 1975, Hughes became the first woman vice president and general manager of WHUR and created the format known as The Quiet Storm, which revolutionized urban radio and was aired on over 480 stations nationwide. Named after a Smokey Robinson song, The Quiet Storm was an easy-listening late-night radio segment that featured slow, romantic songs from Black American artists of the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. The response from listeners was positive, and soulful Quiet Storm segments were adopted at virtually all mainstream radio stations across the country. In 1979, Hughes set out to purchase a radio station with her second husband, Dewey, successfully finding a lender after being denied 32 times by banks. In 1980, she took out $1 million loan and founded Radio One, subsequently buying AM radio station WOL 1450 in Washington, D.C. Financially destitute after the purchase, Hughes and her husband divorced over finances, and she and her son moved into the radio station building. They lived in the office space until the station began to turn a profit. Hughes revamped WOL, which was an R&B station, to a 24-hour talk radio format with the theme, Information is Power. Aimed at empowering Black American audiences in D.C., Hughes served as the station's morning show host for 11 years. In 1982, she pivoted the format again, keeping talk radio in the morning and reintroducing music throughout the day, which this is a really popular format, even still to this day, having talk radio in the morning and then around 12 o'clock having the music come in. WOL is still the most listened to talk radio station in the nation's capital. In 1987, Hughes bought radio station WMMJ with her company Radio 1, which is now known as Urban One. In 1995, Radio 1 bought radio station WKYS, Kiss FM, and Radio 1 went on to own 70 radio stations in 9 major markets in the U.S. In 1999, I never knew until I was doing this research, I never knew that Kiss FM was Black women owned. I knew it was Black owned, but I did not know that it was Black woman owned. In 1999, Radio 1 was listed under the NASDAQ stock exchange, making Hughes the first Black American woman to head a publicly traded company. In January 2004, Radio 1 launched TV 1 in partnership with Comcast. TV 1 is a national cable and satellite television network which bills itself as the lifestyle and entertainment network for Black American adults and has a current viewership of over 57 million households. In March 2015, Radio 1 announced a deal to buy out Comcast, making it fully Black owned. In 2018, Radio 1 was rebranded as Urban One, and Urban One is the largest Black American-owned broadcasting company in the United States, currently operating 55 radio stations and majority owning the syndicator Reach Media, as well as its digital arm Interactive One and the cable network TV One. Hughes is also a minority owner of BET Industries. Hughes has been granted an honorary doctorate, was the first woman to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award in 1988, and is a member of the Maryland Chamber of Commerce's Business Hall of Fame. In 2008, Ebony Magazine named Hughes one of 10 most powerful women in America. In 2015, the H Street Community Development Corporation dedicated a corner of 4th and H Street as Cathy Hughes Corner. Hughes' life story has been featured on the documentary series Profiles of African American Success, and in 2016, Hughes was inducted into the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame. That same year, Howard University renamed its communication school the Cathy Hughes School of Communications. In 2020, she accepted a position on the Board of Trustees at Creighton University in Omaha. Both Cathy Hughes and her son, Alfred Liggins, have been named Entrepreneur of the Year by company Ernst & Young. Alfred Liggins is the current chairman of TV One and CEO and president of Radio One. Cathy Hughes is also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and fun fact, she is lifelong friends with Teresa Glass Union, mother of actress Gabrielle Union. They grew up together. Cathy Hughes says that they're wonderful people. And last but not least, Cathy Hughes has a current net worth of $460 million. I'm going to go ahead and read you guys some quotes from her that I really, really liked. Radio One and TV One are multi-million-dollar businesses. How were you able to grow both as independent companies and compete against huge broadcasting corporations? And she said, when you're community-based, your audience knows that you're different than a facility that's just there to entertain them. So you have a different relationship, a more meaningful relationship. We literally outsold our competitors because although we were out-resourced by them, meaning they're much bigger with more money and more people, they were not able to out-service us. What was your lowest point before you reached this level of success? She said, I don't view things as lows and highs. Business has its ups and downs, and everything in life is a cycle. Everyone's life has ups and downs, so I don't take it personally. As the good book says, this too shall pass. I live by that adage, that bad times will not only pass, but so will good times. I've had challenging times, but it's kind of dangerous to say what was the lowest because you don't know what the Lord has in store for you in the future. Your lowest times may be yet to come. And then the last thing that I want to read you guys, that was just like a funny little statement that I like that she made. And then the last quote that I wanted to read you guys. My first goal in buying this radio station, Hughes said, was not to make money. My goal was for it to make the Washington community a better informed and enlightened Black community. And that's Catherine Liggins Hughes, a hidden figure. Of course, there'll be tons of information in the description box, links and all that good stuff that I really would love if you guys check out because, again, she is a little bit of a hometown hero. And I actually heard of her through a DC account that I follow on Instagram, DC Stamp. So if any of you guys want to check that out, you can as well. Food for thought as always. See you guys tomorrow with our next hidden figure. Peace.